This just in, inflation is headed in the wrong direction right now. The latest consumer price report just out shows prices up 3.5%. This over same time last year. CNN's Rahel Solomon just looking through it all, just running into the studio to help us out. What are you seeing in this?
Hey, Kate. So, yeah, you put it pretty well there that this is moving in the wrong direction. So 3.5% on an annual basis. To put that in context, that is hotter than what we were expecting and certainly hotter than we saw the month prior. If you look at CPI on a monthly basis, sort of a similar trend there, right? So coming in at 0.4% on a monthly basis. That is also hotter than we were expecting, and it sort of matches what we saw the month prior.
This just and figure out where we were and where we are now. Start with your primary residence, whether you're renting your house or owning your home. You're up 20% since Biden took office. That's like a mortgage payment that goes up $700 a month, Ashley. So we're talking real money there. Now, if you've got any money left over to eat away, your costs to go eat out are 21%. I took the family out for lunch this weekend. I had to try to figure out which kid ordered caviar, Ashley, because I was like, how did this bill get so high? Food at home is not much better. It's up 21% as well. So whether you're out or at home, you're paying a lot. Now, let's say you want to make yourself a chicken sandwich, Ashley. Your chicken costs are up 21%, actually 26%. Sorry, it's even worse than that since Biden took office. You're going to put it on some bread. Your bread costs are up 30% since Biden took office. And that probably is the kind of food you're eating, Ashley. But if for those of us with a sweet tooth, let's talk sugar and butter. Sugar costs up 44%. Butter up 27%. I know you're probably cutting down on that, but some of us aren't. And it makes life less fun when you got to pay so much for that. So here's the point, Ashley. You've got a president who can't seem to convince people that things have gotten better, even though he thinks the data's on his side. But when you really look at the data, you get why people say life is just so unaffordable, and they don't have confidence in what the president's doing on the economy right now.
Yep. And the Biden administration continues to try to tell us, oh, the economy is good. It's great. It's amazing right now. Yeah, absolutely not. We see our grocery bills. We see the price at the pump whenever we have to put gasoline in our cars because you have to put gas in your car in order to get to and from work or wherever you want to go. Most of us don't have a horse and buggy or electric vehicles, which I'll never own an electric vehicle. Don't care. Don't want one. And there are some there are some nice looking electric vehicles, but I will never own one. One, simply because they're trying to force it on me. So it's a little bit of rebellion there. And two, I'm just not a fan of not hearing any type of engine roar like that. I don't know. That just seems weird to me, to each his own, but I'll never own one. Do you guys like electric vehicles? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know. But MSNBC recently had a panel that they tried to cut away from. It's always funny when this type of stuff happens. You would think they would learn their lesson. You would think they would learn their lesson with this type of stuff, but they just don't. They just don't, right? Yeah, I know. We got to watch MSDNC, but it is pretty entertaining. I must add. I must say, it is pretty entertaining. Like, share, comment, and hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
Two more. The undecided voters were also asked how they think President Biden is doing on the economy. Take a listen.
I think he's been absolutely disastrous for the economy.
I agree.
Raise your hand if you think President Trump's policies on the economy would be better for your family personally. Raise your hand. All right. So that is everybody.
Every single person. Every single person. They put this on MSDNC. Incredible, huh? Listen, I told y'all it was good. It gets even better. Stick around.
President Biden argues that his economic record has been very good. He said President Trump's was not as good. What are you keying off of, Sean? Since you had the best smile, and Virginia the second best smile. What are you keying off of to say President Trump's economic policies would be better for you?
My past performance of my 401k. I know it was post 2020 and everything kind of flipped around, but you can't blame everything on 2020 for forever.
We have areas here in Pennsylvania where it's just at a standstill right now. Like, things are supposed to be being built and the interest rates are just way too high for people to invest and start moving around.
And Virginia, just staying with you because Pennsylvania is near and dear to Joe Biden's heart. Are there Biden policies that you would blame for the problem? And if so, what are they?
The interest rate is so high right now, and I know they're trying to cut the inflation down, but like, if nobody is building, no businesses are really coming to Pennsylvania right now to keep us moving forward.
Even if you're trying to buy a house, because I'm trying to become a first-time home buyer, the prices are so high right now. It's just hard.
Is there anything Joe Biden could do or say between now and the time you vote that would make you feel differently about feeling that his policies would not be as good for your family on the economy? Or are you pretty much decided that Trump's policies would be better for the economy?
I feel like he doesn't even take accountability for what's going on in the economy. Not even accountability. Like, he's in denial that it's happening.
The point is, Biden needs to hear the people, because when he's talking about the economy doing stellar, he's talking about the stock market. He's not looking at homelessness or joblessness. He's not, at Agee's point, thinking about how much it costs to go to the grocery store. And he's gaslighting literally everyone in the process.
And Omar, you voted for Joe Biden last time, right?
Yeah.
Some really important and hard insights for the Biden campaign to hear there. And hearing all that, you might think things are pretty bad for President Biden. That was not good. I want to show...
And they are 100% correct. The price of everything is just through the roof. I mean, home prices are just astronomical. I don't know if any of you guys have looked at home prices anytime recently, but if you haven't, take a look. Look at the prices of the homes around where you live. I guarantee you're going to see houses that are going to say some crazy number that you wouldn't have even thought would have even been considered a price for that home. You know, the prices are just absolutely ridiculous. You know, it is absolutely insane. You know, I was looking at some prices of homes recently just because I was curious. And yeah, there are houses where I'm like, yo, who in the world is going to pay that price for that? Oh, absolutely not. It is crazy. It is crazy. And then on top of that, you tack on grocery prices, gas prices, everything else, you know, insurance prices. I mean, it's just ridiculous at this point. But it gets even worse for MSDNC because they brought on Democrat Representative Jim Clyburn. And yeah, just like the panel just said, Biden and his administration take zero accountability for anything. It's always somebody else's fault. Check it out.
Let's talk about some of the real warning signs that I heard for the Biden campaign, Congressman, and that was that these undecided voters polled and then in this focus group showing that they are really suffering when it comes to interest rates, trying to buy a home, looking at their own personal economies, and they're feeling like they're being gaslit. They're feeling Joe Biden isn't accountable. What's your response to that, and how can the campaign address these feelings?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I think that we have to focus on people's everyday lives. And 401ks are not about people's everyday lives. And I do believe, just from my own observations, from the conversations I've had with people, there are concerns about things like inflation. But what we've got to get them to see is that inflation today is about 40% of what it was when Joe Biden took office. And so the inflation rates are down and people's incomes are up. unemployment is on the decrease. And although we see the prices at the stores costing more money, people are in fact earning greater incomes. So what we've got to do.
And they always bring up this unemployment number and new jobs being added, but what they fail to let people know is the fine print. We've been losing full-time jobs. Losing full-time jobs. The jobs that have been added are part-time, and a lot of those being hired aren't Americans. You read between the lines on that one.
Is make sure that people see the policies of the Biden administration, how they affect their everyday lives, and get them to see in his policies that which is real, not what they may hear on social media. One of the focus group people talked about social media and the misrepresentation, disinformation, all of those things are out there, and that's the battle that we have to fight, and we've got to do a better job of fighting it more effectively.
So I'll validate that. I think the disinformation out there is distorting the entire process. I think social media doesn't help. But there's also a lack of validation that these voters feel. And I'm going to bring in Andrew Ross Sorkin right now because we just got breaking news. The consumer price index increased at a faster than expected pace last month, a signal that inflation remains stubbornly high. Let's bring in Andrew, co-anchor of CNBC Squawk Box. What will this mean to people in their everyday lives?
Well, I think this was a big surprise. It is accelerating. And, you know, we've been on this broadcast for months now about how the trend line was in President Biden's favor. Today, I imagine they're throwing a party in Mar-a-Lago because the truth is that right now, inflation has now moved in the opposite direction. So it's going to be harder for the administration to make the argument around this inflation trend line. What it means, and you're seeing it in the markets just right now, is that frankly, mortgage rates are not going to be coming down. Credit card rates are not going to be coming down. There had been this view that the Federal Reserve might cut interest rates as early as June. There was an expectation of 3 interest rate cuts. Now that's getting pushed off again. You're seeing treasuries move up in price. The stock market has moved down on this news today. And as I said, it has been a shock and I think a surprise for many just how hot this number has turned out to be. And it surprised me, too.
So, Andrew, thank you for that. Thanks for jumping in with this new information. Let's talk about
inflation heading in the wrong direction. What do you know? Are we shocked? I'm sure not. And listen, if this administration is allowing this information to get out, I would guess the number is a bit higher than that. Because I would assume, and for good reason, that they cooked the books a little bit on this one. It's the same thing with the whole crime thing, right? When they say, oh, crime is on the decrease. What they failed to mention, and that I've looked into and seen, is that they changed the rules on reporting of crime. It used to be mandatory. It is no longer mandatory. So when you have some of the biggest crime-ridden cities in our country that aren't reporting, their violent crimes, of course, it's going to look like crime has gone down. But we all know the truth. We all walk, breathe, and live in our cities and local areas. We see it. We see it. So anything coming out of this administration, I don't believe it at all. 3%, 3.5%, what was it, 3.5%? I'd be willing to guess it was actually 5. You know what I'm saying? I'd be willing to guess it was a bit higher than that. They cooked it up a little bit to try to, let's press it down as much as we possibly can. They could only get it down to 3.5, which is also crazy. But that's just my opinion on it. That's just my opinion. Y'all can let me know your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section below. But also, notice how Jim blamed social media. Yeah. Social media is to blame for people feeling the way that they feel about this economy. No accountability, man. Zero. None at all. How sad is that? How sad is that? Had to cut away from the panel. which is also hilarious. Then blame social media. Like literally did the exact thing that the panel said that they do. Take zero accountability for their actions and what they have done. And he just did it. What a shame, man. Get him out of there, coach. Bring Trump back, please. ASAP. We need him. Y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment. Hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.